With the Wicks here on this beautiful Monday, June 20th, 2022, and welcome to the show, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, hit the like and hit the share. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. It'd be much, much appreciated. So we're finally back to somewhat our old ways. We have one little thing that I have to get, unfortunately, because, USB ports are not a thing anymore. So once we get that, this show will be right back where it should have always been. But that's all right. We're back. We're pumped, excited about what we got to talk about today, even though the world of the National Football League is quite dead at this point. Nothing's really happening at all, and we knew this was going to be the case, especially with mandatory minicamp just finishing up last week. Now this week, and I believe a couple more weeks until training camp gets underway, it's going to be pretty slow. Yeah, there's still people in free agency to get signed, like an OBJ or Julio Jones and all those fun players and good players, or superstars, if you will. But for now, we'll fill you in on everything that has happened day by day. Today, not much to dive into, so it might be a shorter show, and that's okay, because we're here to give you guys your fix, your NFL fix, and we'll dive right into it. So will Dan Snyder end up testifying? Last week, that did not seem to be the case. We'll dive into that in just a few moments and what a House Oversight Committee Spokesman had to say on the situation. Then we have the Seattle Seahawks, who ended up signing defensive tackle Bryan Mone, or I believe, or Mone or Moon. I think it's Mone, to an extension. This couple days ago, I believe it was, I want to say, or it was this morning or something like that. It's been a long weekend, okay? We did a lot of fun stuff. Hopefully you guys had a great Father's Day weekend as well. Celebrated your fathers out there who have done one hell of a job, right? But yeah, the Seattle Seahawks, they extend a defensive tackle. Is it a big one? I don't know. We'll have to dive into that after we get done with the Dan Snyder situation. And last but not least, Ndamukong Suh, who played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, has stated that he still wants to pursue a career in the National Football League and come back. So what does that mean? We'll get to that and more. With that being said, are you ready to get your fix? So last week we had the opportunity to discuss the happenings around Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders' workplace misconduct that has been going on for actually quite some time. Some might say it's been happening since Dan Snyder took ownership of the Washington Commanders. Now, with that being said, some sketchy stuff has been happening, right? So last season, about right when we started, emails were starting to get leaked. The FBI was running through about 650,000 emails, and which ultimately led to the firing of John Gruden. Once John Gruden was fired, people had the question of what else were in those emails that we didn't get to see leaked. The only ones that were leaked were the John Gruden ones. Did we get an opportunity to see those or see what was in those? And then we had Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder actually send pictures of the cheerleaders to multiple people as well. That wasn't the only workplace misconduct that was going on from what has been said, right? So not really sure what else has kind of happened in that organization. I just know that a lot of people in that organization, a lot of employees of the Washington Commanders have come out and basically said, this place fucking sucks to work at, okay? We're getting completely belittled. This misconduct has got to be taken care of. And Dan Snyder was invited by the House Oversight Committee to testify about what has been happening at work. Once he was given the opportunity, he knew the exact date of when he would have to testify, and he said, "I decline to come because I will be in a country that has no internet." Makes a lot of sense. Are you just hiding from what might happen? Are you not wanting to give the full length of the story? Who knows? But right after he declined to testify, Roger Goodell said, "I will accept that invitation and we will do it via Zoom because I am not going to have to travel all that way to sit in front of a bunch of buffoons when I can sit behind my desk on Zoom and tell you how I feel." Since Dan Snyder decided to decline to testify, one spokesman of the House Oversight Committee kind of urged Dan Snyder to reevaluate his decision. His decision, obviously, to decline was not a good one, and it rose a lot of eyebrows, including mine. So here's what that spokesperson had to say in a statement. This spokesperson, I'm not sure who it is, if they remain anonymous, but this is what they had to say. If Mr. Snyder was truly committed to cooperating with the committee's investigation, he would have accepted the committee's invitation to testify about the commander's toxic workplace culture. As the chairwoman's letter made clear, the committee has been more than accommodating, even allowing Mr. Snyder to testify remotely from France. France has internet, okay? He's just saying, "I'm on vacation. I ain't coming. I ain't testifying." His refusal to testify sends an unmistakable signal that Mr. Snyder has something to hide, like I had noted, and is afraid of coming clean to the American public and addressing major worker protection concerns facing the National Football League. The committee will not be deterred in its investigation to uncover the truth of workplace misconduct at the Washington Commanders. So basically, they kind of laid out there where, it kind of brings that, it makes it feels like he has something to hide. That's what the spokesperson said, and that's what I kind of announced right away last week when I heard that he declined to testify, right? I was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you decline if nothing's wrong? Which led me to, oh yeah, that's right, you're going to decline because something is definitely happening behind closed doors that you don't want to get out. And for you to go and testify against it, so you might slip up a couple words and make them believe that there definitely is something going on. And then they also said, we gave him the opportunity, we even allowed him, we gave him the accommodations, or would have gave him the accommodations to testify remotely from France. Now take in mind, Roger Goodell is testifying remotely via Zoom. Why can't Dan Snyder do this? That leads me to this. Roger Goodell, Dan Snyder sat down, in their office probably, and said, hey, look, some serious shit that's going on. The NFL, the National Football League, would do its best, or would like to do its best in hiding this situation. So I would like you to decline, I will accept, and I will make sure this all goes away because I'm super good at doing so. I know what it takes to kind of make these guys go away and then keep the NFL out of everyone's mouth and this situation out of everyone's mouth. But the Oversight Committee says basically, look, regardless if he accepted or declined, this ain't going to deter us from figuring out and uncovering the truth about what has been going on in the workplace for the Washington Commanders. And I don't know what Dan Snyder's going to do. In my opinion, sell the fucking team, We don't want you as an owner. At least I don't want him as an owner because of all these problems. I'm sure the NFL wouldn't want him as the owner as well because, it wouldn't make sense to keep him and then having things continuously pop up in the future, right? It would just make things a lot more messier than they actually have to be. But with him and Goodell being best friends or buddies, that might not happen. He'll probably remain in ownership for the Washington Commanders and move forward with his life. But with John Gruden getting, fired because of the emails getting released, you have to assume that they might try to do something. However, we have no idea if that is going to be the truth. So a House Oversight Committee spokesman urges Dan Snyder to reevaluate and reconsider testifying against the workplace misconduct that has been said about his Washington Commanders. Moving on. Today at 6 a.m., Tom Pelissero went on Twitter and reported that Bryan Mone, yes, this guy that's demolishing Carson Wentz, just absolutely decleating Carson Wentz, which we got to see quite a bit of last season, actually his whole entire career, basically. He reported that the Seahawks signed defensive tackle Bryan Mone to a two-year, $12 million extension that includes a $1.5 million signing bonus per source. An exclusive rights player who signed his tender in April, Mone now can earn up to $13.8 million with incentives through 2024. So congratulations to Bryan Mone on getting absolutely paid today. $12 million for 2 years, $6 million a year. Do the math. Okay, we're pretty solid at it myself. I mean, it's not that hard. 12 million divided by 2, it's 6. You carry the 1, okay, it's 6. You understand, right? But this man who decleats quarterbacks on a regular basis, not really a regular basis, but every once in a while, is getting a massive payday. Now you ask, who the hell is Bryan Mone? Well, he's not really that big of a piece. He's not a superstar. He just plays in the National Football League, and he does pass deflection, 1 forced fumble, 1.5 sacks, 35 combined tackles, and 3 quarterback hits. So he's not really a key piece to that defense, that Seattle Seahawks defense, which is okay, right? Because you want to have at least a good enough depth at any position, especially in the National Football League, the men's league, where people get hurt on a regular basis. And he's one of those guys. Now let's take a quick gander at what the Seattle Seahawks defense is going to look like, because this team is rebuilding, to say the least. They are in trouble. This defense does not look pretty at all. So here's the Seahawks defense for those of you that are wondering. Look, at defensive end, Darrell Taylor, okay, LJ Collier, Boye Mafe. Boye Mafe, shout out Minnesota Golden Gophers. He's going to be a stud. Let's hope. The other end, Uchenna Nwosu. Cool. Defensive tackles, Quentin Jefferson, Shelby Harris. So Shelby Harris was included in that trade for Russell Wilson by the Denver Broncos. He'll be starting at defensive tackle. But there's Bryan Mone right there. He's a backup to Shelby Harris. Their linebackers, I mean, Cody Barton, Jordan Brooks, Joel Iegbunui. I don't know how to say his last name. Sorry if I butchered it, because I did. I mean, who the hell are these guys, right? Okay, Seattle, what are you doing? Cornerbacks, they got Trey Brown, Justin Coleman, Kobe Bryant. Shout out, right? Sidney Jones, the fourth, I believe, is what that is. Artie Burns, Tariq Woolen. And the only place, or the only position on this defense that stands out are their safeties. Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. The rest of this defense, yeesh. Oof. Seattle's fucked. Seattle might just be the worst team in the National Football League. And that's not saying it lightly. Like, they are terrible. Like, at least I can go to the Jacksonville Jaguars and know a handful of players. But you look at this defense, I really only know 4, maybe 5 of these players. This defense is in trouble, okay? And they know it. That's why they're trying to lock up their veterans of the team. Look, Bryan Mone, I believe is, I don't know how you say his fucking last name, but Bryan Mone has been with the Seattle Seahawks for 3 years. And he's still their backup. They're terrible at drafting. They're terrible at retaining players. They were only good in, what was it, the 2012 through 2015 seasons or something like that, with the 12th man was actually really a key piece to that defense. This team, they're in trouble, man. I mean, they are in quite a bit of trouble. This is going to be tough to overcome because when you don't have anybody on your roster, it kind of makes everybody think that you're going to stink, including myself, especially when you get to look at it right on the screen right there. It's just like, what are we doing? But anyways, Seattle did a good job, I guess, in locking up a veteran player on their defense in Bryan Mone for 2 years, $12 million, who can earn up to $13.8 million through 2024 with incentives. So with that being said, finally we get to go over to Ndamukong Suh. This man, this beast of an athlete, this freak of nature, was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer last year. Won a Super Bowl 2 years ago with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Tom Brady decided to make the Buccaneers his new home. Got to play there last year in a chance to go back to the promised land, the top of the mountain, in winning a Lombardi. It didn't happen, right? The Los Angeles Rams ended up beating the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. I believe it's 56 it was, or whatever it was. And he hasn't been signed yet. He's still a free agent. The thought was that he was going to return to Tampa Bay this season. That is not the case, okay? Because Tampa Bay ended up signing Akeem Hicks, former Chicago Bear, an absolute stud, younger than Ndamukong Suh, probably has a little bit more left in the tank, obviously. But that's not holding Ndamukong Suh back. Adam Schefter tweeted that Ndamukong Suh on ESPN2's NFL Live on where he might be in the future. Said it looks like the Bucs are out of the picture. Yeah, probably say that too, pal. Sorry about it. But Suh did say he would like to continue playing. Now, where is he going to continue playing? I'm really unsure. How about this? Seattle. Let's go take a look at their defense. Their defensive tackles right there. Suh would be a massive upgrade to those defensive tackles, okay? Sorry about it, but that is just, that is bad if you look at it that way. Whew! Yeesh. But Ndamukong Suh wants to play in the National Football League, and he should. He's a veteran in this game. He knows what it takes to win ball games. He knows what it takes to win a championship, and what better a place to do that than New England. New England would be a good place. Maybe he goes to Seattle like we just mentioned and replaces these buffoons at defensive tackle, because come on now. Okay, he can slide one of those guys to end, you're good. But Ndamukong Suh wants to play. Right now, the location is it's an uncertainty at this point in time, but I would say that he deserves an opportunity in the National Football League. And if he doesn't get it, look, broadcasting is right around the corner. I'm sure he'd be very, very good at that. We've seen Cam Jordan do it. The other guy would be Cam Hayward has done it or something like that. So there's many opportunities still in line for Ndamukong Suh, whether that's on the football field or off the football field. But he still wants to play in the NFL. I'm sure some team will see that and make a move. How soon we can expect a move? Probably not as soon as we would like, right? Because the next week is going to be pretty dead. Not a lot is going to be happening, but still players have got to get signed. Free agents like Odell Beckham Jr., Julio Jones, and Ndamukong Suh. There are others out there as well. Hopefully the NFL starts picking up, because we do not have any more information around the National Football League for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the like, hit the share. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. It would be much appreciated. So go enjoy the rest of your evening. It is a hot one out there, okay? Very, 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 very hot. So hydrate, okay? Drink some high quality H2O, okay? Bring those electrolytes up a little bit with some sugar if you need to. Gatorade, Powerade, whatever the case is. Stay hydrated. Stay safe out there. Make smart choices, and most of all, be happy while doing it. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, like always, folks. And you just got your fix with a Wix. Deuces.